So this is a little update from working with our egg cartons yesterday, making the clay, homemade DIY clay that I posted, and I told you I would share some of the updates. As you saw in the video, I was able to do quite a large number of castings into these molds. And it has been about 16 hours later, and as you can see, these are really wet still. And this is where I like to go and just kind of push and make sure that all the areas are still full. There's only a little bit of shrinkage, but you can just kind of go in and press them. I'm pretty excited about this. I hope this one comes out, because this was a very tricky one to mold with clay, and it used, you know, if you don't want to do resin, this is going to be a nice option. So I'm excited for that one. So basically, you just go through and make sure there's still several hours left, because this is really wet, as you can see. But I just go around and make sure. This one is drying nicely. It's not as deep, but it's going nicely. But there is one thing I want to show you. So I decided to experiment and put these 3 molds in our dehydrator. My husband has his dehydrator going for some vegetables. It's just a regular dehydrator. I thought I would take a chance and try this, which I know these molds are safe for a certain temperature in the oven. I had never tried it. Well, I just took them out, and they only went in last night later. I just took them out, and I cannot believe how dry they are. Very little shrinkage. I'm excited for this one. So I'm gonna go get my stand to hold my camera and see how these turn out. I think they're all completely dry all the way through. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see if you can see. Okay, yep. So these 3 molds I put into our dehydrator last evening just to test to see. I know you can put these into an oven, but I'm not exactly sure. I will do some research and make sure I'm correct before I give any of that information out, but there is a certain temperature these can withhold. So with that being said, I decided to put them in the dehydrator. Now, compared to these that are still completely wet and several hours, probably another full day at least or more of drying time, these are done. And I think they're done all the way through. So let's just go ahead and test to see how they come out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let's just see this one. Okay, this is completely dry, and you'll be able to take some scissors and go around and cut these and trim up those little bits and pieces very easily. But look at that, and look at the detail. And again, these are my old ones. They accept paint and your whatever you use for embellishing waxes, or we have some that I call jewels and different things. But let's go ahead and get this guy out. This tail is always tricky with me when I'm trying to cast him in clay, so I'm kind of curious. But he seems to be popping right out. Look at that. So I will get a fine X-Acto knife type thing and really get those trimmed up really nicely. But so now you could turn this into an ornament. You could decorate on him. You can do all the things with him. So let's make a pile here, because these are the ones that we're doing now with this batch. Okay, the sheep. I guess basically they're coming out great. The only thing you're going to want to make sure is that they're completely dry. And this pig. These are always really fun and big. And look at even its little tail. I don't know if any of you have tried to do this with clay and then how sometimes you can never get that and you end up saying, forget it. It even has its tail, so if I can carefully go in and trim around that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish unmolding these, and then I'll go ahead and experiment and put a couple more in now that we know, and I'll try to see how long it will take. But I did a set of these just to try, and it feels to touch that it's dry all the way through. This is going to be amazing. Yep, look at that. For those that, this is part of the new release for Christmas, and a lot of people are trying to use resin. Clay works okay, works great. I love the clay look, but they are fragile and sometimes hard to mold out. So now we've got recycled egg carton castings. And again, if you've done this type of stuff and you have more ideas and recipes, let's work together and get some more. I'll start to look and see, but I just need to go through and clean up these little overcasted edges. I don't want to break them off because too much. I don't want to lose any detail, but can you see how cute and fun? And that now I can go ahead and keep going. I did use all my clay that I made yesterday. I was hoping to have some left over to experiment and see how long it would last if we maybe had put it into a container. So I'll try that next time. Definitely gonna need to get some more egg cartons now. So I did this large frame and I wanted to try doing the whole thing smooth. If you remember, this mold has that little cute frame in the center. So this is really deep. So let's see if it's dry. It is. Look, guys. Now, normally I'd cast this separately, this piece being separate, but I wanted to try because oh, that is a little wet. I'm not gonna touch it. I can feel it when I brush my finger, but it came out perfect. I'll let it finish air drying like this on the counter. What I wanted to do was try to decoupage this in the center and have it look raised, but look at that. This part is all dry. This right here is a little wet, so we'll leave that to dry. And then I did this one, which and this center is a little bit still moist too, I can feel. Just if I had left it in maybe even another half hour or so, but it'll go quick now. So those are our castings that we did. Same time as the other ones, but I put them in the dehydrator. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick another chunk. He only has one shelf available in the dehydrator. He's got his celery and I think he's got some peppers and stuff in there and garlic right now dehydrating. So we might have to take some of that out to get these in there. Okay, guys, I'll give you another update very soon.